Hello everyone, I'm Okeedoku and welcome to episode 9 of AlchemyFactory. Now, as you can see, it's been a fair few days since last episode, like 21, I think. And yeah, savings are going kinda well. This is purely from quest rewards, because I have done the respecking, so I'll put a screenshot of what it looks like when we last left off. And here's what we're looking like now. So I decided to really bump up the custom management, so we're getting a lot more from quests, and we get 3 daily quests now. We're getting a lot more in sales. Everything's just a bit better. I do need to work on negotiation skill, but that can come later when we're doing dedicated contract setups. What we're gonna do now is start working on a level 7. But first we need to get there, so 1 second. Yoink. And kaboom. Right, so level 7, we've got 2 more unallocated points, and we get access to lavender seeds and quartz ore. So next will be blast potions, which we might. I've already had a bit of a think about how we're going to do this, and there's honestly not a lot of products in episode 7 in level 7. So I'll set things off research and then we'll go through it. So we've got the advanced shaper, which we'll need for Venus, which will probably be the last thing we do in the level, as per usual with the relics. One main reason being it needs blast potions, which just makes sense. The thermal extractor, which it says in description, the higher up it's built, the greater its output. So if we have a tall build and use that as high as we can, we'll get better outputs. And speaking of tall builds, I've been working on that a little bit. Let's get a better view. So yeah, goes extremely high, and I don't even think that is the build limit. I ran out of steel to make it any higher. And quite frankly, I'm scared to see how high these things can go. But it'll be fun at the same time. Yeah, so then we've got the alembic, which you put an item and a liquid input and it gives you a different liquid output. In this case, well, in these cases, it'll be sulfuric acid, brandy, and lavender essential oil, which we need for the 3 main products in level 7. Perfume soap, blast potions, and topaz. Then the paradox crucible, which creates oblivion essence, which we need for the blast potions, and the other one, which we get by putting oblivion essence back into it. I also, in between episodes, because I forgot, we needed to set up unstable catalysts, so that's quite simple, just gloom spores and yeast soap powder, no, chamomile powder. So I just added that to here, and then I just, because they're not used for anything yet, I've just been stockpiling them because they can go towards quests. And yeah, I'll do rest at research in this level, and then I shall make a plan for what we're doing this episode. Well, make a plan for the order of things we're doing this episode. Right, so all this stuff's learned, and the first thing we're going to do just makes sense. Fertile catalyst. But that's not all. Shut up. No, they're not. So fertile catalyst first. And what I'm thinking is going forward, rather than looking at multi-output setups like we've got here with the growth potion. To be fair, I did this one because it made it work out right. So unless that's the case, what I kind of want to start doing is just doing single output setup. So where I will look at, is this it? Yeah. So rather than with the copper bronze setup, I've got a triple ethanol setup. I want to change it to just be going forward now. When I redo this, it'll just be a single ethanol setup, and then maybe I can do things a bit neater. And rather than, and on top of that, rather than thinking on the scale as a whole, like I have done with the steel, and trying to work out how much I'd need, again, do those needs individually. So if that's going to take too long. Go up here. So I tried working out everything beforehand for how much steel I'd need, and then going from there. Whereas next time it's going to be, right, where are we? Pocket watches need 20 steel gears a minute. So for this single advanced assembler, I'm going to create a setup that makes those 20 steel gears a minute and attach it to that. And for clockwork birds, this needs 60 steel and 20 steel gears a minute and 20 malachite, and so on. You get the idea. Rather than creating it all as a bulk and then hooking it up to everything that's needed. Yeah, I think that'll, for how I plan things in my brain, I think that's the better idea for me. And yeah, so we'll make a start on fertile catalysts. And how do we actually make those? Crafted in the advanced blender. Okay. Yeah, I think thermal extractors are going to be the exception to what I said about the making, like trying to make everything modular and specific to each crafting recipe. Just because it's going to be so much better if we have it higher. So at the minute, I'm not sure what my top floor is. That can go. Checked it at floor 20. Production multiplier 200%. And it turns out that's the maximum multiplier, because I also just got the achievement for doing that. Which means that we probably don't need to actually keep building this up any further. Doesn't mean I won't, but now I'm going to just check it a little bit lower and see if that makes a difference. 200%. Alright, we're going to find the limit on this. There we go. So I found it. This is minimum one, which is floor. Which floor are we on? It's a great question. Let's just go to 19. We go over 1, 2. Okay, so it's floor 17. Right. So I think the first thing we really want to do is create some good thermal extractor setups for all the liquids. So let's get on that. Okay, so I've just decided to check out some cauldron recipes and seen what they'd be really good for, and I've decided on two things: salt and sulfur. Particularly for when it comes to the extractors and alembic setups. So then we're not getting excess stuff. Plus, it works, both of them will work out faster and cheaper than buying the raw material. So if we look here, salt theoretically will cost me nothing money wise, and 24.5 a minute as opposed to 20 a minute, so it's a little bit faster, but we don't get the sand secondary output to deal with. and it's not going to cost us 9 silver. It'll just cost us some red currants, flax, and sage, which, when we're actually making the fertile catalysts, we'll be able to easily keep up. Same with sulfur, so 17.1 versus 5 a minute, so that's no contest. And then we won't get that ridiculous amount of iron coming out either. And again, the only thing that we need to buy the raw material for is the sand for the turquoise, which isn't going to be breaking the bank at all. So yeah, I just thought I'd let you know that I've decided on that, which that'll be something we get to later when we're setting up the brine, at least for the first one. But again, first thing first, we're going to just go in the order of linseed oil, fruit wine, lime water, then brine. So we'll get to that later. For now, back to making the extractor setups. Okay, so it's been a fair bit, but I've jumped ahead and done the setups for all the extractor liquids now. So we've got linseed oil set up, we've got red fruit wine, lime water, and all these are for the brine. We'll go through each of the setups now. I just wanted to give you a quick overview. So I've got 10 extractors for the linseed oil. Well, doubled up. I've doubled up each at setups. So initially I was just going to do 10 extractors, but I've decided to major future proof and yeah, I've just said I've doubled up. And why are these not connected right? What have I done here? Right, give me a sec. Okay, so as I was saying, I've worked it out. So my current flax production rate is 120 a minute, and the extractors need 30 flax a minute to work up max efficiency. So that were easy enough. Wait, no, it's not 30. It is 60 a minute. Sorry, getting my words mixed up. Yeah, so it's 2 extractors per nursery, nice and easy, and then just plenty of spherical flasks for a huge buffer amount for that. So because the linseed oil, really we only need it for soap and perfumed soap, but they are important ingredients for a lot of other things. So we've got a large production on that. Fruit wine, so again, all the nursery plants are 120 a minute, but the extractors use 20 red currant a minute, so it's 6 extractors per nursery. And then again, just huge setup because wine's used for vitality potions, yeast powder, and brandy, which are all important things that are going to go towards the Venus, because vitality potions, transformation potions need yeast powder, and blast potions need brandy. So yeah, I decided to learn everything in level 7 just so I could figure out what my needs are and make sure I'm not undershooting. I know I said I'm going to try and focus on each product individually, but I think with liquids that can be the exception, because as we figured out in earlier episode, pipes are just instantaneous movement. It's just really considered like just one big storage container. There's no movement speed like with conveyor belts, so that's okay. quicklime. So lime water, it's only used for blast powder, but then that goes on to make the blast potions and something else yet. So again, I've just well overstocked. It's works out 1 stone crusher per extractor, and I've just managed to stack all the crucibles like that, and then I've just done that. Now the only one I've not been able to double up my full intention was this, because it does take up quite a bit of space with the set we've got. So it's red currants, rope, and healing potion. Oh no. Oh no. I've just realized what I've done. No, 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 no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Right, I'll continue my thought talking you through what I've done, and then I shall fix this. At least it's a fairly easy fix. But yeah. So what will be the rope, red currants, and the healing potion. And I've made sure these are all overproducing to make sure this is running at max efficiency, because for the brine, where is it on minutes? Yeah, it needs 30 salt a minute, so it's three cauldrons for 2 extractors to make sure they're full efficiency. And because of how they're set up, I've not been able to do it super neat. And then we've just got the pipework going across the ceiling into this lot of flasks. Since brine is used for sulfuric acid, which goes towards Venus and Topaz, as well as the growth potions. Right, time to fix this mess I've made with the setups. Right, that's that issue fixed. I've not quite been able to fit them in the same space, but it's a little bit neater, to be fair. Also, once we've done the major savings and got 1,000 gold to get that plot, and I've built up to here, we'll then have a much better space to do a better setup. Ugh. That's a ways off. Though, speaking of having a good enough amount of gold, one sec. We can now go I shall buy this and this and this, and that will help. And I believe that this will be the last plot of land once we've got enough cash. Now, what we're doing, yeah, we're working towards fertile catalyst, aren't we? So now we've done the extractor process, it's now time to set up for the alembics. So I'll get on that and then report back once I'm done. And the alembic floor is all set up now, including the pipework from the floor above. So it's a bit messy. I've patched up the holes with the steel beams, which just makes it a bit easier to navigate everything through. Again, pipework's a bit of a messy web, but never mind, we can still get through. So first we've got the lavender essential oil, which very simple, just each one needs 120 lavender a minute, which each nursery produces. Then we've got, what's this one for? Brandy. So the fruit wine comes in. Each alembic needs 120 coke powder a minute, which is 3 crushes in total, which is why there's quite a few of that setup. And then the sulfuric acid. So I found a better recipe for the cauldrons. Just using using 3 plants. The flax is actually pointless. So how cauldrons work, works on a point scale. And each item has its own point value, and you need to get within a range to get a certain goal item. However, in sulfur's case, chamomile and lavender actually hit that point. So then we can just throw in flax because it's very cheap. So I've managed to do a double alembic setup for those. And that's that. So now that we've got all that done, we'll be able to actually properly work on the fertile catalyst and the blast potion. I've also done the working out for all the setups in level 7, so let's just go through that now. Not all the way, you'll see what I mean anyway. So fertile catalyst, they craft at 15 a minute. We need 15 unstable catalyst, 15 vitality essence, and lavender essential oil, which I won't worry about the liquids for these setups. I'll just talk you through the item plan. So unstable catalysts craft at 30 a minute. So what we're going to do is split that off. 15 go into the blender, 15 go into a double paradox crucible setup to become vitality essence, and that works out the balance. And then for the chamomile powder, it's easy enough, 1 nursery. Gloom spores, just got the double setup, which will need the double yeast powder setup, triple soap setup, and the 10 rotten log sawmills. And that's fertile essence. Where we at? Blast potions. So they craft at 20 a minute. They need 20 black powder a minute, which crafts at 10 a minute. So I'll make a double setup for that. Using the cauldrons for sulfur powder. I've got a charcoal powder setup somewhere. Yeah, and I'll be using unstable catalysts for the oblivion essence. Then it's topaz. So I'm gonna do it the simple way. I'm not gonna worry about making a Thanos setup to get the crude shards from malachite, because I'd need to keep up with this. I'd need a couple of Thanos setups, but then that'd also mean setting up impure copper powder and clay powder. Instead, we're just going to use quartz ore, which crushes at 20 a minute, but that's fine. That stuff's expensive, so I don't mind it crushing at technically half speed. No. And perfume soap powder, 60 a minute. So soap crafts at 40 a minute, but I don't think we're going to need more than one of these setups. So if there's a bit of a backup on soap, that's fine. I don't mind. So it'll just be a double soap setup to get that. And then Venus. So for Venus, we need there's 5 potions, all at 20 a minute, which is almost perfect because healing potions craft at 20 a minute, transformation potions 20 a minute, growth potions 20 a minute, blast potions 20 a minute. The only outlier are these little fuckers that craft at 15 a minute. But never mind, we'll just have to have a double setup. And then sulfuric acid. But because of that, that's actually going to be great nice and simple, but getting a lot of those. Speaking of a lot of relics, yeah, full, that's full. I need to set up another crate for that. That's full, that's slowly getting there. So at some point, we'll have a good chunk to do some more leveling, but I might just stockpile these till end of level 7 when I've got a good amount of Venuses stockpiled as well, and then just do it all at once. So yeah, I shall get to work setting up the fertile catalysts, and then I'll report back in. Okie dokie, here is the fertile catalyst setup. So we've got a single advanced blender, priority splitter to make sure the nurseries are getting fueled first. So yeah, then we've got the unstable catalysts here, which will split evenly between the blender and these paradox crucibles. Then the gloom spore setups here. I've revamped the soap setup for it because we've got the massive liquid factory now. That just seems wrong to say. Liquid factory. Ugh. Ugh. Sorry, I've just... yeah, but we can just pipe down from that to these, so we've saved space on those nurseries. For the soap and the yeast powder. And then we've got the table saws here for the rotten logs. Some overflow well, not really overflow protection because we were just scrapping the planks anyway, so trash barrels for planks. And it's split evenly, so the top 5 go to this one, bottom 5 go to that one, and then they merge back into that. So yeah, that's fertile catalyst setup. Now as for how many we want, we'll see how many can fit on a single floor. Right, I've done some setting up, so I decided I'm going to do 10 setups to begin with and then adjust from there if we need to. Honestly, I don't think we will. But I've also got all the gridlocks I need for the rotten logs, for the table saws. But not only that, we've unlocked as an example quest, which is fertile catalysts, which will work out great because then when we've got excess, that can go into the contracts to keep the rotten logs stocked up, and I can just cycle the money there. So that is actually going to be perfect. Now let's get these things built. And here we go, we've got 10 fertile catalyst setups, all nice and neat on this floor. Put good enough spacing to get these hooked up. I still need to put the gridlocks in, but I thought I'd just let you know now that this is all set up. Space were a little bit tight on this side, but we managed to make it work. I also just got the achievement washing up the market for producing 1 million soap. So yeah, that's a thing. Right, what's next? Blast potions. Okay, so here it is, the blast potion setup. So for the Oblivion essence, I've just gone with same method as before, unstable catalysts. I'm not too fussed that if we're going to be overproducing anything on this line. So catalyst just goes into paradox crucible into the blender. Now for the black powder setup, it's a fair bit different. that I could get away with using 2 cauldrons worth, which made it nice and neat, and I could downsize from the sulfuric acid setup. And then I've used regular furnaces for the charcoal setup. And what I might do, actually looking at it again, I might rotate these furnaces around to get the fuel there, just to save that single slot of space, because especially when it's this big, that might make all the difference. And then, yeah, black powder into blast potions. Same case as fertile catalysts. Priority splitter to make sure all these are being fueled first. So we'll go under and. But first time we're actually using the clockwork birds, which means we can fly. If we go down here, so splits off into there and down through here, which splits across to this one, and then into those two, into that one, and into those two, which, yeah, give me a minute, I'm gonna swap those round, and then we'll see how many we can get on a single floor. I'm 4, maybe 6 if we're lucky, I think. That's just my estimate, but we shall see. I've just been talking to myself for a couple of minutes and I didn't realize my mic was muted, which is great. But anyway, here's the blast potion floor. So I've got all that set up now. Managed to get 6 setups on it. And something else I'm going to be doing is, if we go to the top floor, or one of the top 2, you'll see that I've started replacing these walls with the support beams, because I think rather than having holes in the floor to move everything down, if I can do it on sort of the outskirts of the building, kind of like I have done at the front down here. Let's just go down. Splat. Kind of like that, but less messy. If I can manage something like that, that'll be a lot better. But yeah, it's not gonna happen all at once. I'm not gonna cut to the next clip and all that's gonna be done, or doubtfully anyway. It's just gonna be happening bit by bit. So now the next thing I'm gonna work on is perfumed soap and topaz. Because they are very simple setups, I'm probably just gonna do them both and then I'll just show you what I've done. And here they are. So I know I said I wasn't gonna go for the like 100% efficiency, but if you've watched any of the other episodes, you'll know I flip-flop a lot. So because the quartz ore crushes at 20 a minute, I've just split it between 2 blenders, and then we'll pipe sulfuric acid in. That's literally all we need to do for topaz. Then perfume soap, I took the soap setup we had from the fertile catalysts and blast potion setup, and then just hooked it up to a couple more blenders, and that's that. Yeah, now to just find a place for these. Right, so I've been a little bit busy since the last clip. I've replaced all the walls with the support beams. It were actually much easier than I thought once I got into a good rhythm with it. And if we go up to floor 14, 15, yeah. Elevator music, going up, going up. This is elevator music, bing. I've hooked everything up that we've set up so far, including what will be the blast potions, the coin lines, and the fertilizer. Bit of webbiness. The pipes are not great, but I've done what I can. We have, yeah, I've been through everything already. So all you need to know is everything's now connected, set up. So that's blast potions, here's fertile catalysts. I'll just run through quickly so you can see how I've done it. The webs are an improvement, not a great one. Oh wait, yeah, I'm done. No, ignore me. I'm thinking I've not hooked the words. I'm thinking I've not hooked these up, but it's fertile catalysts, and they'll be auto sorting themselves anyway. Yeah. Then pipework, I've patched up the holes that I had in the floor from here and rerouted the pipes to outside, like I said I was gonna. And same with elevators, so that's good. Oh yeah, because of the iron requirements and the steel production was totally out, I've had to just set up a little scuffed one. Right then, so I've been busy. Let's start with this floor. So I've hooked up the topaz setups, which we need sulfuric acid for. I've made a diamond setup using quartz ore and refiners. Not super efficient, but I weren't messing about doing one of those for 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. I weren't doing that. I weren't having a wall of 64 refiners and then 128 stone crushers to make this absolute 100% efficient. Not saying I never will, but 128 times 44 silver, that's a lot, and we're not there yet. And then we've got the perfume soap setup, which we shall just give a little kickstart because we can. That'll do. That gets that going. So I've also started giving the, well, trying to get the blast potions and fertile catalysts going. As you can see, we're making some progress, but I keep needing to top up certain things because it's not all good up and running yet, but it'll get there, it's fine. And we've got some blast potions slowly starting to come in, so if we check like that. So it's happening, it's gonna be a while. So I'm gonna keep doing this, and then once this is fully operational and I can sort of just leave it to run, then we'll start working on the setup for Venus. Also guys, when were you going to tell me that I'd messed up some of these setups? Eh? I don't care that it's the same episode that I did it. You should have told me. Should have sent that message through time and be like, oi, idiot, fix your shit. It's done now, but so what I'd done is I'd forgot to set up grinders for the chamomile to make the unstable catalyst, as well as I forgot to put grinders the cauldrons for the black powder. But it's sorted now, so yeah, I still need to fix the blueprints, but that can come later. Right then, so it's been a bit more awkward than I thought it would be to get everything fired up and running, but I've had an idea. we can level up. How, you ask? I've got a bit of a stockpile building. There, I think we know what time it is. And I'm just gonna get it done here. Reset. Oh, actually, wait. Before we do, what am I looking for? So Saturn 71.5 and Mars 126. So now 379 and 667.8, and it's only gonna go up from there. Right, I shall check in with you once this is all done. Oh, let's see where we are as well. So this is at 31. Let's see where we get to. I made more. Okie dokie, the Saturns are done, apart from one that came in on belt last minute. It's time for the Mars. Right, last at Marses are put in, now we just need to wait. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with Jupiters anymore either, because at this point, it's not going to make that much difference, unless we happen to be just a couple of hundred XP off the next level. It'll be fine. Right, we're done, all cleaned up. Now, let's have a look. So, I can't remember what we were, 31, 33, somewhere like that. We are now 47. So, now it's time to respec, and all those extra levels are purely going into alchemy, fuel, and fertilizer efficiency. There we go. Fertilizer and fuel efficiency right just before the infinite upgrades, and alchemy skill at 11. Hopefully that makes a good difference in the firing up of the stuff up there. I shall let you know. Okay, the firing up of everything is going. It's getting there, but time for something we've not done in a while. Now we've got perfumed soap online. Gloves. Boom. Next we need moonlit soap, which until level 9 I believe. Yeah, so one of the last things we'll be getting, but that's fine. Next, once things are up and running, it'll be the potion belt with 150 blast potions. And yeah, so we've got things coming in now, plenty of topaz. The diamonds go pretty much straight away, but that's okay, here comes one now. Right, so I'd done the maths wrong for linseed oil, so I had to actually put a third set up here because we were using more than we were gaining. Plenty of fruit wine coming in. We've got some blast potions making their way up here somewhere. I'm not sure where, but they are coming in, trust me, trust me. So we've got brine set up. Oops. Quick lime powder, lime water, that's coming in. Yeah, so that's that. The alembic setups, plenty of lavender essential oil coming in. These are going to be an issue for the fertile catalysts because even though they're much better, they don't last long. Here we go, we've got some blast potions coming in now. Then onto the fertile catalyst floor. Again, the main issue is that we're needing the blast potions to actually make their way to these. Which they'll get to eventually, I'm sure. What's the issue here? So yeah, I'll just keep on doing this, and once I'm not worrying about doing the Venus until this is all up and running, otherwise I'll just be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah. unless something interesting happens, which probably won't, I'll be honest. Next time you see me, I'll have well, these lines should hopefully be just about starting to fill up. Here we go, this is what we want to see, full conveyor belts. However, that's not all. So this one ideally never be backed up all the way, because I did in between clips just finish that sample quest, so now we've got the contract portal, which is making us a nice extra bit of profit. So yeah, I have also gone, and even though the blast potions are backed up and I'm way overproducing for the needs, I don't care. I have set up a blast potion production for the shop, and that's all hooked up, so they'll be filling soon. Whee! So yeah, we're just waiting on them to reach the line now, which won't be too long, I'd imagine. Yeah, so I guess there's not much left to do this level apart from Venus. So yeah, we went through it earlier. It's just a single potion setup for each. And then, apart from vitality potions, and then just hook it up with sulfuric acid. So, yeah, I'll be back once I've got that done, I guess. Okay, everyone, I just started checking with a little progress update. We've got healing, vitality, and transformation potions set up for the Venus. It's going quite well. I've been able to downsize this setup here because we're not worrying about the excess gloom spores or anything. If we're overproducing, that's fine. But as well as that, we've got a good amount of blast potions coming in now, enough to upgrade his potion belt. And that's that fully upgraded. Oh, and I've just got the apothecary achievement. And now we zoom when we sprint. We're so fast. Also, the thing I said about the super efficient diamond setup would be in the future when we're making a lot more money than we currently are. I think we're actually not too far off that. So what I've had to do, I actually had about 3 full stacks of silver coins. I've got 200 gold there piling up, but that's with me upping this bank output portal to 3 silver coins as well, which it's not a huge amount more, but it'll make it makes a difference considering how fast their output. But yeah, just thought I'd check in with that. So yeah, I'll carry on. It's done. It's a monster, but it's done. So before you see it, just so I had to build up this floor where there was nothing else on, just so to make sure I had the space to put it all together. Here we go. All 5 potions set up. And they all come meet at the shaper. hooking it up's gonna be a bit of a pain, but never mind. It'll be worth it once we've got a good amount of these stockpiled. So, I'm going to try and get that done. And then we might be looking at ending this episode. Right, I've managed to fit 2 setups for the Venus in this floor. So in between episodes, I'm gonna get it all connected. There's just one last thing we've got left to do before we wrap up for today. And that is level up. We're now level 8 and we've got access to gentian seeds and wild tree seeds, which we'll experiment with next episode. So next is panacea potions, which will be the major thing we work on for this level, because as you can see, it's combined fuel and fertilizer. On top of that, where's all this money come? Oh yeah, no, ignore me, I'm being crazy. Right, let's just also, this can be an in-between episode thing. You've seen that I'm doing it. So with that, that's going to wrap up this episode. So if you've stuck around this long, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.